So you see, as aware basic space, if we take ourselves to be anything and we make something out of it, then we adopt a frame of reference or context. We adopt a superstitious belief. And how this applies to the reality of our own timeless freedom, the full evidence of that being real in us, is that if we take that aware basic space to be anything, in other words, if we start to label it and describe it, then we limit our understanding and our direct realization of who we are. So how does that apply to enlightenment or awakening, or just knowing who we are? Maybe you're not interested in enlightenment, awakening, or liberation. You're just interested in knowing who you are. Well, if we adopt any frame of reference for aware basic space, for example, enlightenment or awakening or liberation, if we adopt a frame of reference like religion or spirituality for what aware basic space is, then we will spend our entire life lost within that frame of reference or context. And if we take it to be real. So, for example, if we take religion or spirituality to be something that can cause the effect of enlightenment, then we'll spend our whole life looking for that within that cause and effect relationship. There's nothing wrong with religion or spirituality. I'm not suggesting that, because aware basic space is inclusive of all circumstances. So no matter where we are and what we're doing, timeless freedom is already the case. But wherever we are or what we're doing, we need to know that all the contexts and frames of reference are not who we are. They're all the dynamic energy of aware basic space and nothing else. And so, if we take aware basic space to rely on gender, for example, I have to be a man in order to be awake, or whatever it is, or I have to be a woman to be awake. You see, then we limit ourselves to a certain context. We limit ourselves to dualistic perceptions. We limit ourselves to bias, to adopting a bias within aware basic space. It's very important for us as human beings to be extremely clear on who we are today and to get to know ourselves as we are and to drop all frames of reference. And in other words, everything we've ever been told about ourselves, and get to know ourselves as we are, that we are beyond time and space. We are beyond cause and effect. This is the birthright of everyone. And it's the only way we can solve our own problems, our family's problems, our community's problems, and the world's problems. If we continue to swim around as a global human culture in the system of superstitious beliefs about who we are, we'll never be able to come up with any of these solutions that are completely beyond anything nameable. But, when we allow effortlessly more and more of the reality of what we are with no frame of reference, in other words, no impulse to get lost in a story about everything that's going on, but we have greater and greater ease. There's just pure space and nothing else. Just the reality of that which has no time or dimension. It includes all time and dimension, but we know that time and dimension and that without time and dimension are not two. See, we can't think our way into that. We can't put together all kinds of frames of reference to make sense out of that. We can just boom. Allow the ease of what we are. Bring everything to a complete stop. Stop playing with the superstitions and realize ourselves as we are. So, who we are is easy because we're already in it. We don't have to get anywhere. We don't have to go anywhere. The reality of what we are, it is inclusive of waking, dreaming, and sleeping. It's inclusive of birth, life, and death. But those things are not who we are. Just like when I had surgery and general anesthesia, I was aware the entire time. At night during sleep, there's awareness during sleep. So you see, awareness includes all these states. All these states, waking, dreaming, and sleeping, are aware basic states. That's what they are. We're actually always aware. This is what the word awake means. We're always awake, 24/7. We're awake. We're totally awake as awareness, as aware basic states. We're always awake. And the more we familiarize ourselves with who we are, the more this unthinkable thing that we could be aware 24/7 even while we're sleeping, the more obvious it becomes, just in a natural way. Just in a totally natural way. This is our natural state. It's not some great magical feat for a person who cuts themselves off from life and focuses only on that. It's for everybody. The person who isolates and everybody else, There's no special circumstance required. Whatever your circumstance is, you're already aware basic space. No matter what it is, it could be anything. No matter how adverse or pleasant. Just don't adopt any frame of reference. If you feel tempted to adopt a frame of reference, just be at ease. Allow the seeing of aware basic space to be. When we become more familiar with who we are, who we really are, it doesn't have to look any one way. If we can have frames of reference about that too, like, it's only enlightenment if it's sudden, or it's only really good enlightenment if it's gradual. But it's beyond all kinds of speculations like that. Every single moment of a lived human life that is fully evident aware basic space, there's just greater and greater increase seemingly of that without it ever increasing or decreasing. So, the whole human experience is meant to be this experience of wonder, the wonder of aware basic space. That's our natural state. If we adopt a frame of reference and we say, I'm only enlightened if I suddenly have a big boon, and then I'm awake and I'm just like all the great ones who ever lived, and I'll know when it happens, and so will everybody else, and it'll be amazing, I'll never have an unhappy thought again. So you see, all these are frames of reference. The dynamic energy of awareness is the dynamic energy of awareness. It includes all labels. But we're always timelessly free as all labels. So, there's no separation or coming together of aware basic space and its phenomena. There's no separation or coming together. And, if awareness were a destination or something to be gotten, where would it come from once it's gotten? So you see, if we ask ourselves these simple questions, then we know that the reality of what we are, it's never been cut off from us or anyone else. It's never been not recognized by us or anyone else. Even if we take ourselves to be the superstitious belief that we're not enlightened or we're not aware basic space, even that label is aware basic space. So see, that's kind of funny, isn't it? There's no way of getting out of aware basic space, in other words. Anything we're thinking, any emotional state we have, anything we're doing, any sensation, it's all aware basic space. No, nothing is ever strayed from that space.